Hi and welcome to Down the Shed. So in this video we're going to be making this, I think it's a door entry chime. It's another one of my IC station purchases. So let's get on with this one. We have 3 resistors, not exactly but close enough to their values. So we've got a 20M, which is I think it turns out to be an 18.1, but that's close enough. So pop that in. We have a 43K, which was I think 42 something, and I'll just mix these two up, so I'm going to have to retest it anyway. So I'll just back this out of the way, and I'll pop this in, knock it down, fire it up. 42.68, so that's close enough. So this was the 42, well 43 rather. So the 43 looks like it's yellow. Let's get these out and properly appraise them. So the 20M is brown, grey, blue, gold. The 43K is yellow. I'd say that was either orange or red. Yellow, red, red, gold for the 43. I haven't bothered learning the colour codes. I'm getting alright with SMD resistors, but and which leaves grey, red. That was definitely red on the other one. Grey, red, orange, gold on the 82K. So that's those in. We've got 2 ceramic caps, 103, which is this little one here, and a 104, which is this puppy over here. So this is going pretty quick, isn't it? This ain't a difficult kit, but it is going to have a little bit of complexity to put it into its casing. So here we have a 1 UF 50 volt electrolytic capacitor. Right, so long leg, short leg's negative. Negative's always this hatch part, long leg's always positive, and you have the grey minus stripe down the side just in case somebody has cut your legs evenly, so you're still able to identify the correct polarity. That's absolutely vital you get your electrolytics in the correct way as always. The ceramics and the resistors, doesn't really matter whether you put them in backwards, forwards, backwards, as long as they're in. So I'm going to mount this lot down before I do the 2 transistors, because we have one more special bit to do as well. So that's that lot. Well, hopefully soon my solder reel will turn up. I've been waiting 2 months for it. I'm actually starting to run, not dead low, but takes much longer. I'll start using solder paste on all my project, or go into town and actually buy some. Because this is such a small kit, I'm actually going to show all the soldering on this one. I haven't used this soldering tip for ages. Can't get the solder in. Well, I'm going to have to clip some now, because I'm getting in my own way. So whatever these two are, they take up the entire pad anyway, so you can just go mad on that one. I'll just get this blue tack off. Okay, so there we are so far. Got our 3 resistors and our 3 capacitors in. So all we've literally got left to do now is connect the music chip, which will be this little chip on board here, little IC. Interesting to swap them around with other kits. We've got these 2 transistors to put in. We've got the photoresistor, the speaker, and 2 battery terminals, and a little bit of hardware. So we have 2 transistor. So we've got a C9013 and a C9014. This is the 9013, so that has to be the 9014 by default. Now again, as always, you've got a flat and half a circle shape on the board. The circle side of the transistor goes with the circle side of the board, and the flat side of the transistor goes on the flat side of the board, or the silk screen on the board. And indeed, this is a CO14. Again, I've got plenty of these knocking around. So again, following the shape of the component to the silk screen. Scrub your tip. Right, so excluding this sound card, that is all the through hole stuff done. The rest of it will be soldered onto the surface mount tab. So we want to get this in nice and straight. A blob of blue tack behind it. Right, okay. So I'm fairly happy with that. I don't know if the camera is going to pick up half of this. I'll try and angle that down. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Right, I'll try and solder like that, which gives you a better view. It's going to be an arse for me, but I can see. Never be afraid to use the solder paste somewhere you wouldn't normally use solder paste. Working your way down to the board, there it is. Okay, let's try and not make too much mess. Let's see how that one goes. So that has made a join. Okay, so that works well. Just heat the paste up. Stinks that stuff. Let's just wipe a little bit on the tip, on the top side rather. A lot of flux in this solder paste. A lot of flux. Yeah, I wonder if we just put it on the top one, whether it will roll down to the bottom one. Gravity. Don't forget, you can always get yourself out of trouble with your solder pump. A little tiny bit more on that one. Now we've got those in, we can actually just add a bit of proper solder. Just fill it in. There we go, it's making some lovely little angles there. There we go. Happy with that. So let's get that out. Oh yes. Oh my. Let's see if we can get a really good look on there. I think you'll agree there's some absolutely lovely little solders in there. Right, I'll just figure out where the battery goes. As you'll see, we've still got 5 terminals. So I believe that these 2 here are the photoresistor. These 2 are the speaker. So that's obviously one of the battery terminals. I don't think, no, there isn't. So I need to figure out where the power's going, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've tinned the pads up for the speaker. So we'll just bung a couple of leads into there. They appear to be pre-tinned. Just try not to burn myself. Good at things like that. Right. I'll do nicely for that one. They're all red, all the cables supplied. There's no blacks in here, but then there's no suggestion of worrying about polarity on the speaker anyway. So we won't put that there. Why not? No, we won't. We won't put that on just yet. So I believe this is negative, and I think this is positive. But the photoresistor also goes between those 2, I believe. So let's come back to that. Right, I'm going to have to use my photo camera translate, Google Translator, to change this Chinese. Actually, I know that is the photo resistor, and I know that's speaker because I've already looked at them. Now that says power down there, so I'm not sure which one that's actually referring to. I think that's this one on this ceramic cap. That's the only. There is, I think, possibly is something up there, but you can't see it in a photocopy. So this is your plus, and that's your minus. No, maybe not. Hang on. Well, we'll figure that one out because I've been trying to follow the schematic, and pin number 3 goes all the way round through the transistor. These two resistors, the ceramic, whatever that thing is, and the 4.5 plus up here. So C4 goes to negative and plus. So in the picture, this and this is definitely the photoresistor. This is definitely speaker, so I'm actually orientated correctly. So that is plus, so I'm guessing that one down there is negative. And pin 1 on the schematic goes boom transistor, boom resistor, boom negative. So we got negative there, positive up there. Well, that pad's positive as well, but anyway, let's just do it the way it's supposed to be done. Right, so I've just had to delete a quick bit of audio out and replace it. So I've already pasted or blob solder on the board, and we're just going to put this photoresistor in place. I don't know how long I need this, so for the minute I'm just going to put it on long. We can cut it down shorter once we start getting an idea of how everything's going. I'm going to put a minus on the battery, because a black rather, because it just makes sense really, doesn't it? So is that still in short? Okay, let's move that out of the way. Okay, so the answer there is just to put the battery terminals in, solder the solder on, put the battery terminals in, and then bend them over to hold them in place, because they're not going in tight, they're sloppier than a proverbial in a sock. I really need to figure out how this is all going together soon. So let's get some zoom out of this. Okay, so I suggest you a glue gun, because that's not going to stay there by itself. That bit of plastic up there is really badly. There's so we've got a little tubey bit that goes in here like that. So I'm guessing that should go like that. There's a black cap that goes in behind it, and your photoresistor goes through that first, I believe. So the cap goes on here. That'll all go together. I'm guessing that way to give room for the speaker. I don't understand why there's a hole on the top. There's no I don't know why we've got 6 wires as well. What, 2 wires for that, 2 wires for that. Okay, 2 wires for the battery, fair enough. They did come with 3 button cell batteries. Wow, quite large button cell batteries. I'm going to pause this while I figure this out. So back in a moment. Okay, so I've soldered the speaker on. Right, I've hot glue gunned that in quickly, so that's now connected to the board. I've now got to decide on how I'm going to do this photoresistor. Basically, it goes inside this little black cap thing, and then if you find the tube. Okay, so I've sorted out the power. I basically following the schematic. Basically, you can just wire off pins 1 and 3 because they're in the power line, whichever. So if you solder off pins 1 and 3, it makes it easier to curl the wires back. You slide the battery terminals in, bend the tips over, solder onto them, and jobs are good. And so let's get the batteries in. Oh, it won't work now. I had it working off 5 volt. I reckon these batteries are probably pooped. Okay, that's typical. So basically, it will give me a greeting. I've put the batteries in backwards, so I must have wired it wrong. But if I, as you can hear, she gives you a little greeting in Chinese or Japanese. And it's a pig to get these batteries in. But yeah, not a lot else at the moment. If I move my hand over it, it doesn't do anything. Well, there we go. So basically, take that battery out, that screw out, and that'll work. So now you can't shut her up. She picks up on the slightest bit of light. So I reckon, all right, love. I reckon that was pressing against the speaker and shorting out. So anyway, I'll update you with. So this is item 9655. It's $2.02 at the moment instead of $2.89. Link in the description for this item. 15% discount using SHED-ICS. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeehaw! Hiya, Wummy!